All right, so you're ready to really get to know those piano keys, but
But you're maybe a little intimidated by 88 black and white keys.
yeah, 88 keys.
Staring back at you.
It can be a little intimidating.
I get it.
Yeah.
We've got a whole bunch of articles and tips.
Oh, yeah.
And believe me, this isn't your typical music theory lecture.
No.
We're going to unlock the secrets of the keyboard
Okay.
using your brain's natural love of patterns.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
And some pretty clever tricks.
I'm all about those tricks.
What's really cool is that once you understand the logic behind how the keyboard is laid out,
Yeah.
memorizing the names of the keys
Okay.
becomes way less about brute force.
Right.
It's more about strategy,
Ooh,
like solving a puzzle.
I love a good puzzle.
We just need the right pieces to fit together.
I like that a lot. Okay, so let's just start with the basics.
Oh, okay.
What's the first thing that I should know?
Well, just forget about the black keys for a minute.
Okay.
Let's just focus on the white keys.
Okay, I can do that. They follow a really simple alphabetical pattern from A to G.
So it's just like the alphabet.
Yeah,
That seems way easier than I imagined.
it is.
Yeah.
And here's the even cooler part.
Okay.
That A to G pattern
Okay.
repeats across the entire keyboard,
The whole thing.
the whole thing, and each set is called an octave.
An octave. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Does that have anything to do with like those 8 arms on an octopus?
Not quite.
Okay.
But the word octave does come from the Latin word for 8.
Okay.
And in music, an octave refers to that interval between one note and the same note 8 notes higher or lower.
So they started on a C.
Yes.
The next C would be an octave away.
Exactly.
Oh, right.
What's important to remember for right now is that each octave on the piano has that same A to G pattern.
Okay, so if I learn one octave,
Yeah,
I've basically learned all of them.
that's a relief, right?
It is a huge relief.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about those black keys?
Yeah.
They seem a little randomly scattered.
They might seem random, but there's a system here too.
Oh, okay, there's always a system.
Each black key gets its name from the white keys that it sits between.
Okay, so like the black key between C and D.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's called both C sharp,
C sharp.
written as C with a little number sign or hashtag symbol,
Okay.
and D flat,
D flat.
written as a D with a little lowercase b.
So wait, one key has 2 different names.
It does.
Okay, that seems a little tricky.
It is, but think of it this way.
Okay.
A sharp means that the note is a half step higher than the white key to its left.
Okay.
And a flat means that note is a half step lower than the white key to its right.
Okay, hold on. I need a little refresher here.
You okay?
What's a half step again?
A half step is just the smallest distance between 2 notes on the piano.
Go ahead.
Every key, black or white, is half step away from its neighbors.
Okay.
So that black key between C and D is a half step higher than C.
Which makes it C sharp.
Right. And a half step lower than D.
Which makes it D flat.
You got it.
Okay, so the black keys are like musical chameleons. They take on different names,
Yeah.
depending on where they are.
It's all about context.
Okay, but how am I supposed to remember which is which?
Right.
There's so many.
Well, that's where those memory tricks we talked about come in. One of the most effective techniques
Huh?
are mnemonic phrases.
Mnemonic phrases.
Yeah.
Like those little memory tricks we used to use to learn the planets back in school.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm all ears.
So for the black keys,
Okay,
we can use a phrase like, good boys do fine, always.
good boys do fine always.
Yeah.
Okay.
That helps you remember that group of black keys.
Okay,
BDF,
BDF. Okay.
and for the notes FACE.
Yeah,
Well, you just have to remember the word face.
faces. Okay.
That's clever.
The sillier the phrase,
Right.
the easier it is to remember.
Yeah, my brain definitely seems to hold on to those weird and wacky things.
Absolutely. Our brains, they grab onto things that are unusual,
Yeah.
funny, even a little shocking.
Makes sense. It's like a built-in highlighter for your memory.
Oh, I like that.
And the best part is,
Okay.
you can even create your own phrases.
Oh.
The more outlandish, the better.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, I'm already trying to come up with some ridiculous phrases for those black keys.
Awesome.
But mnemonic phrases aren't the only trick in the book, are they?
No, they're not.
The source mentioned something about connecting melodies to key groups.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, think about the song Three Blind Mice.
Okay.
Those first 3 notes are D, E, F.
You're right. I'm never going to hear that song the same way again.
I know, right?
So I could use any melody
Yeah,
to remember a group of keys.
pretty much.
That's amazing.
It's all about using the knowledge you already have.
Yeah.
Our brains love to make connections.
Okay.
But so if you can link new information to something you already know,
Yeah.
like a familiar melody, it becomes much easier to recall.
Oh, okay.
Like a mental shortcut.
So learning piano keys isn't just about music theory. It's about understanding how my brain learns.
Exactly.
But let's be honest, sometimes we need more than just tricks and melodies.
Right.
What about those classic learning methods like flashcards?
Yeah, flashcards are definitely a classic for a reason.
Yeah.
They're a really simple and effective way to drill and practice.
Right.
But, technology has opened up a whole world of interactive learning tools.
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all about making learning fun. So what kind of tools are we talking about?
Well, there are tons of online games and quizzes.
Okay.
They make learning key names feel more like a game than a chore.
Yeah.
One that's really popular is a game called Note Rush.
No rush
Yeah, and you race against the clock
against the clock.
to identify notes on the keyboard.
Okay, so it's a race against time.
Yeah,
That sounds like a fun way to challenge myself.
it is.
What about virtual pianos?
Yeah,
Those seem like a cool way to practice,
Yeah.
but do they actually help with learning key names?
they can be really helpful. Virtual pianos, they give you that visual and auditory feedback,
Okay.
which can really help make that connection between the key and its name.
Right.
There's so many virtual piano apps out there, but one that I often recommend is Musicopolis.
Musicopolis, okay.
It's got a specific mode for identifying note names,
Okay.
and it's gamified too, so it's,
Oh, nice.
fun.
Okay, so we've got mnemonic phrases,
Yeah.
melodies, games, apps, a whole toolbox
That's
for
up.
conquering these keys.
Right.
This is making me feel way more confident.
Yeah.
But what if I want to go beyond memorizing the keys
Yeah.
and really master the keyboard? Like, what are some advanced techniques?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
There are some more advanced techniques that can help you solidify your understanding
Okay.
and really move toward true mastery.
I like that.
One technique is called chunking.
Chunking.
Yeah.
Like how we remember phone numbers by breaking them down into chunks.
Exactly. So instead of memorizing all 88 keys at once,
Right.
you break them down into smaller groups,
Okay.
like sets of 5.
Okay.
Chunking helps your brain process information more effectively.
Right.
It's like breaking a large task down into
Yeah.
bite-sized pieces.
That makes a lot of sense.
But it gets even more interesting.
No.
The source also suggests connecting keys to songs.
Connecting keys to songs.
Yeah, to improve memory.
Wait, so like using a melody
Yeah,
to remember a certain sequence of keys?
exactly.
How does that work?
Well, they give the example of using jingle bells for the notes E, E, F, F, G.
Okay.
Think about how catchy that tune is.
Right.
By associating those notes with that familiar melody,
Yeah.
you create a really powerful memory link.
My gosh. I'm already trying to think of songs for other key combinations.
I know, it's great.
That's brilliant what other mind-blowing techniques are out there.
Okay, prepare yourself.
Okay.
This one is really out of the box.
Okay.
It's called Wacky Imagery.
Wacky image.
What's that?
Okay. You got to explain this one.
I will.
It sounds intriguing, but also a little bit crazy.
It's a unique approach.
Okay.
The idea is you create a vivid and ridiculous image
Okay.
for each key
For each
to make it more memorable.
Uh,
For example, they suggest visualizing G
a
as a green gorilla playing a guitar.
green gorilla playing a guitar for G.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I could already picture it. I know I'm never going to forget that.
Right.
So it's all about tapping into that visual memory.
Yeah, exactly. The more outlandish and memorable the image,
Okay.
the more likely it is to stick in your brain.
That makes sense.
The source encourages you
Yeah.
to get as creative as possible,
Okay.
even if the image seems absurd.
Okay. I'm feeling pretty good about all these techniques.
Awesome.
Memorizing is one thing.
Yeah,
Actually using that knowledge in real life is another.
it's true.
How do I make sure that all this sticks
Right.
and that I can actually apply what I've learned?
Well, that's where practice and application come in.
Right.
The source really emphasizes the importance of testing yourself under pressure.
Okay.
It's not just about passively knowing those key names. It's about being able to recall them quickly and accurately.
Under pressure, like a surprise piano quiz.
Exactly. Having someone quiz you on note locations
Okay.
is a great way to practice.
Yeah.
You can also use a timer to kind of simulate performance anxiety
Okay.
and see how well you do.
That sounds intense.
Yeah.
But I could see how it would be effective.
If.
Like if I can remember the notes under pressure,
Right.
I can remember them anywhere.
Exactly.
But what about long-term retention?
Yeah.
How do I make sure those key names become a permanent part of my musical vocabulary?
Consistent practice is key for long-term retention. It's like exercising a muscle.
Okay.
The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
So practice, practice, practice.
Pretty much.
I knew it. But what kind of practice is most effective for solidifying those key names? Just running scales over and over again.
Scales are definitely helpful for, yeah.
Building finger dexterity and muscle memory.
Right.
But to really integrate those key names into your understanding,
Okay.
you need to go beyond that mechanical practice.
Okay, so like if I'm playing a piece from sheet music,
Uh-huh.
I should try to identify the notes as I'm playing them rather than just reading the notation.
Exactly. Or try playing familiar tunes from memory.
Okay.
But instead of relying on that muscle memory,
Yeah.
really focus on visualizing the keys and their names as you play.
So making that connection between the sound, the physical key, and its name.
It's about moving beyond simply knowing the names
Right.
to really understanding how they relate to each other,
Okay.
how they create melodies and harmonies.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive.
I'm glad.
I feel like I've gone from being intimidated by the keyboard to actually being excited to learn it.
That's awesome.
And it's not just about the piano.
Oh.
All these memory techniques and learning strategies
Yeah.
can be applied to so many other areas. Absolutely, whether you're learning languages or memorizing historical facts,
Yeah.
or even just trying to remember people's names.
It's all about understanding how your brain learns best.
Right, and using those strategies to your advantage.
So, to sum it all up, we've gone from feeling overwhelmed by those 88 keys
Yeah.
to having a whole arsenal of tools and techniques
You do.
for mastering them.
It's awesome.
We've talked about mnemonic phrases,
Right?
melodies,
Yeah.
wacky imagery,
Yep.
interactive games, and of
Yeah.
course the all-important consistent practice.
It's key.
Who knew learning piano keys could be so much fun?
It's a blast. What I find so inspiring is that
Yeah.
it's not about being a musical prodigy or anything.
Oh.
It's just about embracing the learning process,
Yeah.
finding what works for you, and having fun with it.
Having fun.
And remember, if a green gorilla can play the guitar,
I love that.
you can master anything.
That's a great point. So go forth and conquer those keys. And if you're looking for more tips and tricks, be sure to check out the links in our show notes.
Absolutely.
Happy practicing.